First of all, today is the Earth Day. Rather, it is the 50th anniversary of the Earth Day. And in 1970, for the first time, people over USA understand the need of our own action. They understand that we are responsible for our own action towards the environment and towards the art. So they started to celebrate the 22nd April as a Earth Day. It has a huge importance in the human history because through this celebration of the Earth Day, people came up with a different action plan like Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, Save for the Endangered Species, and even in the 2016, like on the Earth Day, the Paris Agreement was signed. It's around 1850. The scientists understand that we emit this fossil fuel is emitting the CO2, and it's actually not good for the atmosphere air. And after even 150 years, we understand, but we don't act that much. And the 50 years people started celebration of the Earth Day. After that also, many of us still doubting about climate change, global warming, and our action towards the earth. The main idea behind the Earth Day was come up with the meaningful action to save our planet. So here I want to share some of my views. Like when we all the time through the different NGOs or the different scientific papers, and we most of the time we address save the planet, save the planet, save the planet. But is it really about saving the planet or saving ourselves? Because if we correctly remember the history of the universe, like it almost 13.8 billion years ago, our universe has been formed, and our solar system along with earth is only 4.8 billion years old. And our human history, like if we remember correctly, like human with agriculture and civilization, it's only 10,000 years old. And the like human with art and culture and science, we grow maximum in last 500 years, right? Because in 1800 century, the population over the whole world was 1 billion. And in present context, if we check the population, it will come around 7.8 billion. So you can understand within 10,000 years and the last 200 years, like from 1800 to 2020, the population had increased by 6.8 billion. It's not a matter of joke, where from the first 10,000 years, it was like only 1 billion. So this tremendous population pressure is affecting our environment. So we became as a system. So before, when we talk about the earth system, it has a different components like biosphere, geosphere, lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, etc., etc. But it comes as a default with the earth system. But as a women population had increased, we become a separate system in a way, because we create this age called Anthropocene also, right? Because the age of humans. So we create our own atmosphere. Like when I am saying about our own atmosphere, because of our action, we create the industrialization, the land use, land cover changes, and it has a huge impact on the atmosphere. So we can say it's like a human created atmosphere. It's like a anthroposphere. So when I say about the climate change communication, it's very important to get through some of the basic idea in the human mind. Number one, climate change is real and it's happening right now. And how much temperature has increased? 1 degree temperature. And people may think, what's the big deal about 1 degree temperature change over these years? But here is the scientist has done lots of work and was trying to tell us only one story, that the rate of change of the temperature is really terrible, because the way rate of temperature is increasing, it has not been increased in last 10,000 years. So this is where we need to understand that part. And when we talk about the 1 degree change, we are talking about the global temperature change, like the average temperature of the earth change from 14 to 15 degree. Okay, so it's a 1 degree, the global average temperature. We are not talking about any particular region 1 degree change. And when the mean temperature 1 degree change, though it seems very small, but it has a huge impact. Already we have seen, because of the air pollution, the fossil fuel burning, we already emitting enough chemical pollutants in the atmosphere, and we're changing the chemical composition. So even when we talk about the chemical composition, people will say how much percentage we are talking about. But it's not about the percentage. Sometimes even very little percentage can create a huge impact. What we can see when the, if you see from the 1958 to 2019, the CO2, like carbon dioxide, has changed from 315 to 415, almost 100 ppm has been increased. And each year we produce 40 billion CO2, 40 billion tons CO2 in the atmosphere. But for 1 degree temperature rise, we actually throw enough toxic pollutant in the atmosphere. So once we throw that toxic pollutant in the atmosphere, it stays in the atmosphere for the long time. There are some pollutants is the short-lived, but most of the pollutants, those who are very like carbon dioxide, methane, these are the long-lived greenhouse gases. So they stayed over the atmosphere for the long time, and some of them is more than 15 years, 30 years they stayed. So today, what we throw today, it will continue till next 15 to 30 years. That we need to remember. And the earth, when talking about this global warming, it actually, we are scientifically talking about the radiative forcing. What is mean by radiative forcing? It's the net balance, net energy balance in the top of the atmosphere. So in the top of the atmosphere, there is an incoming solar radiation is coming, and after all the business in the earth, there is an outgoing terrestrial radiation. So they are in a balance in energy. So in the top of the atmosphere, if this is zero, that means, okay, the energy in balance. But if the outflow energy minus inflow energy is greater than zero, that means our atmosphere is heated up. So this radiative forcing is increasing in recent years. So that is why scientists or the scientific community or everybody is talking about that, this radiative forcing. And once we'll realize that this 1 degree, even since 1 degree, this 1 degree temperature rise in even ocean, it's a huge impact. How? Like actually ocean is take all this heat. So ocean temperature is increasing day by day, right? So once we'll increase the ocean temperature, we will get the more severe storm. Why? Because to form the different kind of tropical cyclone, you need to have some favorable conditions. So you need to have certain temperature to persist in the ocean. So once my ocean is warming continuously, that means we are providing the favorable conditions to the storm very easily. And that is why the number of tropical cyclone is increasing day by day, though there is other lots of factors involving. This is not so straightforward, but this is a very easiest way. And once this pollutant coming through the rivers by the precipitation, it actually goes in the ocean, so ocean get acidified. Once ocean get acidified, it actually impacting the whole biodiversity. It actually it's a global problem, it's not the regional problem. But to address this global issue, we need to understand like what should be my effective language to the normal people. So there, like when we communicate about the climate science, the culture plays an important role. Like to implement. We can have the nice idea in my mind, in our mind, or the scientific and through the scientific understanding and the social science understanding. But when we are about to implement and when we have to act towards that plan, we probably should be very careful about the culture, because the same act can be very fruitful over one culture and another act cannot be fruitful over another culture because of their habit, practice, and behavior. So I started to work in the climate science communication and started to do the surveys and the research on the how we act in different communication. Like, so there is a two type of communication. One is verbal communication, one is non-verbal communication, right? So when I'm talking about the verbal communication, it's like when we talk, discuss, right? And non-verbal communication is like when we say something, when we listen, like music, dance, we're saying something, or even when we read. So in the different cultures of the different like inclination. So that's why we need more literate people in our society. Once, when you mean by the literate, is the climate literate society. Many peoples can have the educational literacy, but once we talk about the Earth Action Plan, or we need to act on the plan, we need to make the climate literate society. What I mean by the climate literate society is like your society should have the essential understanding your Earth's climate system and communicate about the climate change in a meaningful way, and be able to make mankind to work on that. And in this COVID-19 situation, I think we should even think more about the importance of a real home. And our culture can really help us in this regard, because some culture has a different, like some culture discuss more, read less. Some culture read more, discuss less. So there is a different kind of information transferring system. Like sometimes from my understanding and my perspective, what we have seen in Calcutta in India, people knows huge amount of information only through the discussion, where in the Western countries and United States, people are very individualistic. People read more, people research more by themselves rather than discussing with others. So there is a different ways and different cultures through which our information passing through. But at the same time, what we required a scientific workforce, very literate scientific workforce globally and regionally, and we need good science communications with the proper training and understanding about the climate science and climate system and the earth system science. Because what happened, many people nowadays talk about climate and climate change, but the science is missing. Or sometimes the scientists, people, the scientific world, they are talking so scientifically or statistically, mathematically, producing their result that normal people can understand. So we need to bridge the gap. So we, especially the scientists having other cultural background, they can be like useful in this purpose, because they can use their artistic mind and the scientific understanding together. So being an artist, being a scientist, this is my small initiative that I am going to present a small performance to all of you to share my artistic mind, how I see my atmosphere, and how I enjoy my scientific ideas, but along with this like God-given gift by this creation. And through this performance, I want to tell you something interesting. Like we each every year we throw 40 billion tons of carbon dioxide in the air, and 4 million people are dying each year due to the air pollution alone. So if we keep rising this temperature, 1.5 degree, 2 degree temperatures, this death can reach up to 150 million per year. So till then, I want to enjoy my science and I want to enjoy my dance in this clean air. and I will use the music by Pandit Bikram Ghosh and the upcoming new Bengali movie Avijatrik directed by Shubhrajit Mitra. I use that music for my the science communication dance part. Now choice is ours. So what we want to do? We want to dance and breathe in this holy, pure air, or we want to die in this toxic devil air. Like, we have seen the effect of air pollution, especially those who are from Asian countries, India. They know that how much it affects our health. So I think the culture can be used as a very effective tool in the climate science communication. But I think we are thinking, that's why you are talking, and we have the public, those who are listening about this, and I am pretty much positive and optimistic that we can do together, and we won't be the part of museum so soon. Thank you.